This is a question for the GMs out there. Have you ever come up with an encounter that you thought, yeah, my players are gonna breeze through this, only for them to get absolutely annihilated? I know we've all been there. Well, this one's for you. My party recently switched from D&D 5e, Pathfinder 2e, and it was decided that I'd be GM for this campaign. It's been nice. We all like the new system, but it hasn't been without its challenges. I haven't GM'd in a while, so in a way I'm knocking the dust off my boots, which is at times challenging while learning a new system I've not played before. My players are blameless. I am the horror story here. As most here know, encounters in D&D 5e can be a lot looser than in Pathfinder. You just sort of get a sense for things, can play it a little loose, and if you make the monster too tough, it really isn't a problem. Action economy in 5e is so important that 3 weaker PCs can easily overcome a single stronger opponent. And there's always the pervading sense that, yes, the book says this, but they haven't met my players. Every time I've thrown something strong or goofy at my party, it hasn't been a problem. They've made it through with HP and spell slots to spare. I didn't know that the Pathfinder 2e encounter math actually worked. A lot happened in session 1 with the story and the evil cult they're opposing, but one of the sillier things that happened was that the wizard tower of Hezekiah the Great Mage blew up due to his inability to properly maintain certain OSHA violating wards after being depowered by a curse. As a result, many of his animal experiments escaped confinement. I wanted this to have recurring consequences. Every once in a while going forward, I planned for the party to fight a miniature griffin or some other sort of changed monster or animal. I have them level up after session 1, as it's our way. So in prep for our next session, I start thinking of what to do with my newly level 2 PCs. Pull up an encounter calculator and see that for 3 level 2 PCs, a lone gorilla is actually a level appropriate moderate difficulty encounter. Sure, I say bold and foolish, but they don't know my players. They can get out of anything. So I make it an elite gorilla, which still puts it below a severe encounter, per the math. But then I think, this thing just escaped a wizard's tower? Wouldn't it be funny if it got tangled up in some kind of magic item? Wouldn't it? Q Session 2. The party elects not to rest after the end of their big fight in a tomb last session, so they start down some slots. I think this is a bad idea, to have them hear something big and mean stomping around outside. Can I roll to see if I recognize the sound? Asks Chloe, party witch, and my partner. Cool, secret recall knowledge. Nature roll. It's a gorilla, and it sounds like a really tough one. I say, praying they rest. I poke my head out, can I see it? Secret seek check? Nope. Now Iverson, cleric, is saying it would be so funny if there was just like an invisible gorilla. So they leave, intent on getting the hell out of Dodge and continuing on their quest. There's a guard giving them guff, harassing them a bit for trying to get past his gate. They argue back and forth a little bit, and then the guard turns into a fine pink mist. More strawberry jam than man. And ripping off a cloak of invisibility that had gotten tangled on its head is an enormous silverback gorilla. The gorilla begins chewing the cloak and beating its chest. The party finds this very funny, and Iverson is in a state of disbelief that I actually planned this. The gorilla runs up, puts on a frightening display, they fail, and turns invisible. The observant among you will note that this should count as 4 actions, because frightening display is an activity. Barry the Barbarian, and by far the party member who has read the system the most, deduces frightening display must be some kind of buffed demoralize, and be 1 action. 1 action to move, 1 to FD, 1 to turn invisible. Now, my theory was that turning invisible wouldn't be an action. This gorilla doesn't have a plan, it's a gorilla. It's eaten a magic item, and at the end of each of its turns, it'll become invisible or visible. Our 5e games have always worked with goofy shit like that, but Barry's first turn is wasted searching for a shockingly stealthy gorilla. Then Chloe's and Iverson's. The gorilla pops back in and actually starts fighting the party, wreaking havoc. Despite all this, the combat initially goes promisingly. Barry gets the beast in a headlock, Crit succeeding on a grapple so it's restrained, and Iverson focuses on healing and Chloe on buffs and chip damage with her hex powers. Then the gorilla escapes. As it turns out, unlike D&D 5e, the action economy in Pathfinder 2e is actually pretty well optimized for a single baddie to be a threat without minions, especially if they have high to hit bonus. I thought it'd be a simple case of a 3v1 curb stomp on a powerful but ultimately outmatched beast. Instead, just a few later, Barry is wounded too and playing tag with the floor. Iverson is out of heals and slots completely and is resorting to just hacking at the damn thing with his scimitar, rolling mostly 4s. And Chloe is the only one managing to keep up a string of chip damage via Needle of Vengeance, protecting Barry, though this shockingly willful gorilla keeps saving every time. No one's having a bad time, it's still fun, but no one expected this to be a fight for their lives. What was supposed to be quick combat against a silly foe is turning into a grueling, hours-long encounter. Honestly, it feels surreal because this monkey won't fucking die. Everyone is down to single-digit hit points. The least visible gorilla you ever haven't seen is still rocking with 15. Every time Barry or Iverson goes down, someone has to waste most of their turn moving to and healing them. With the amount of turns they've spent popping back up, it's growing increasingly difficult to justify this silverback not spending the actions to kill one of them once they're downed. My strategy to delay their untimely deaths on a meaningless encounter is backfiring, because Frightening Display isn't some time waster ability, its debuffs are actually devastating to their ability to hit it. Iverson is yelling at me that if I don't murder him with an invisible gorilla, then I'm a cheat and a coward. Affectionately, but also very earnestly. The call is made. I steel myself to finish someone off if they go down this turn. Barry at 2 HP swings twice from his back and misses both times. Can't do anything else because he was just picked up from dying and had to pick up his club, Big Bone. At least in the process of getting downed, Needle of Vengeance did some damage. Iverson, maybe 5 HP, actually hits for the first attack, dealing 6 damage, but is frightened 1 and misses his follow-up attacks. Down to the witch, who thankfully crit saved before one of the frightening displays, so she was immune to the rest. Chloe's telekinetic projectile actually hit, but she needs an 8 to put this monkey in the dirt, and if she fails, it's ape time. She rolls exactly 8. Much rejoicing is had, but we honestly spend the rest of the session emotionally recovering from the gorilla fight from hell. Also, in getting level appropriate gear, which they didn't have, because I'm an idiot who didn't realize you're supposed to be getting minor magic items early. I promise I've learned my lesson. Sometimes, as GMs, we severely underestimate certain encounters that we create, especially when learning a new system. And unfortunately, I'm sure there are probably tables out there where this kind of thing wasn't received in such a friendly way. I understand mistakes like these can ruin the game for some people, and as GMs, it's up to us to learn and to grow from these mistakes. Have you created any encounters that you thought your players were going to absolutely demolish but ended up demolishing them? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. That will mean a lot to me. It helps me create these videos every week. Anyway, catch you in the next one.